Hello, everyone, and welcome to another scene for Living World of Darkness Rage Across New York. In this scene, we have Saoirse and most of her pack coming back from the bane hunt that she was tasked with doing as part of her Fostern challenge. And now she is back on Sept, and her first thing is to just go find Chloe and tell this story. So she stops by the where the Black Fury kin are and asks if they know where she is, and they give her general direction, which is toward the trading grounds. So that's where she heads with her pack mates, her Alpha, and Binding Tempest, who is in Krynos and will be for the next week. And she says, if you want to come with me and hear me tell this story, you're more than welcome.
I was there to make the story. May as well listen to it.
All right. And yeah, so they head on over.
As long as Nelson's okay with me just kind of coming up with something, I was just going to say that we'll just say that Chloe is actually in the training grounds. We'll just say in Glabro. Probably Nelson, probably Lesson is as well. And we'll just say that they're kind of sparring. Because the idea of getting practice in various forms is a really good idea. And she's found herself having to fight in Glabro before. So it actually does happen. Sometimes it is a good idea. So if you're okay with that, they're probably just kind of knocking each other around at this point. I'm not going to call who's winning or whatever, because it's going to end in about 5 seconds. But that is the situation you will find when you come over.
She will kind of bound on over, stand back a little far from where y'all are at, and she'll say, "Squeaks the Rage, Raya."
Did you say Squeaks the Rage?
I sure did.
Sorry, no, it just blipped out. I all I heard was something rage. So I was guessing, oh.
Yep, she says, "Squeaks the Rage, Raya."
Well, that definitely gets her attention. She stops and just kind of hold out a hand to Sebastian, who probably, so he doesn't keep fighting.
Yeah, no. Sebastian is probably like in the middle of a punch, and when he hears that, he just like stop and then like get on the floor, showing throat and belly, like in the middle of the punch. He just stops in the middle of the punch and just like jumps on the ground, like showing like.
She catches that out of the corner of her eye, but doesn't say anything because it is appropriate considering the situation. And she turns and just starts grinning because it's such a funny name, but it's funny. That's all.
And she said it very, proudly and matter of fact as well. Like,
Well, it's not an insult. She's not taking it that way because the way you said it doesn't sound like one. So
definitely not.
And she's just like, "Oh, Saoirse."
She lifts her chin and exposes her throat. But she's grinning, a toothless grin from ear to ear.
You're good. And she sort of like does a little bit of a hand waving gesture towards that kind of like, being like, "You're good."
She writes herself, "I have completed the task that you've given me for my challenge."
I see. All right, then. She's going to look over to Sebastian and just be like, if they're okay, I'm okay with you getting up now. But I think we have a story to listen to.
She'll nod. She didn't even notice that he was there, honestly.
To what?
She didn't even really notice him. She was just like, "Oh, yeah, that's fine."
He does have full stealth.
Welcome.
He could hide without even wanting it.
Yeah, but you weren't.
No,
See.
So you just kind of went
She'll get
off
up.
on your back. Like,
she's very focused, and she's just only really like, okay,
and she'll kind of like look once basically. So basically, we just said that Sebastian could actually get up, as I think is the point at this point. And
Yes.
Chloe will kind of get off of the the main fighting area so that other people aren't like staring at them as we tell a story. That's not the right place for it. So she'll be like, okay, and she'll kind of walk over towards a tree. Towards a tree that that's by the training grounds, but so that everybody can hear, but it's not like in the middle of the fighting area.
Right. Yeah, Saoirse will follow off towards the side near the tree, and anyone who wants to gather to listen will, and she will
See, I got booted.
I
told you that was going to happen. It's been happening freaking every
Yep.
scene.
Yep.
Anyway, so yeah, I'm sorry. I heard something about following her to the tree and what?
It's okay, give her a second. She got booted too.
Oh, okay. We all got booted together. It's a booting day. You're on the Sept of the Green.
I remember one hangout where there was like close to every minute someone was getting booted.
As
That
we're
was-
waiting for non-booted people to come back, or for booted people to come back, apologies. Yeah, Tlatine is walking up, sticking to the background, a little bit away from the rest, as she doesn't expect it. It would be very much appreciated if she comes closer.
Chloe tends to notice Tlatahine when she's around. So she'll kind of offer a sort of a small smile to Tlatahine, kind of a welcoming smile, but it won't force her to move any closer.
But you're a Raya. So yeah, she'll walk up and present her throat.
And she'll be like, you're good, Tlate. Don't worry about it. Would you like to hear a story? I think we're going to hear one here in about a minute.
I'm back.
Sure, Raya.
It appears Saoirse's finished her Fostern challenge and has a story to tell to complete it.
I see.
And she will wait for Tlatahine to take a seat if she's going to.
She's probably gonna lean against like a pole or a tree or something.
Okay. Once she's seen that she's taken a relaxed, sort of listening stance, she will then begin. So, I gathered up my pack and rocks your socks. Figured it would be good to have a glasswalker Theurge with us, especially since we're going into the city. I chose to take one of the problem bane areas from the Wormfoes board as the source of my challenge. I figured it would be good to go ahead and eradicate one of those problems, as well as leading the group in the hunt. So I chose alleyway in Harlem. Bloodbanes. I'd never dealt with bloodbanes before, so I consulted my pack, who had Public Enemy and Kumba had dealt with them before. So I took their advice on what we should do and formulated a plan. We decided not to go too far Umbra side. We went there in the Tellurian, entered the Umbra a little ways away. So I didn't want us to get what? Yeah, I didn't want us to get distracted by the Weaver, and I didn't want us to be popping in right in the middle of the Banes either. So we got a little far away. We got over just fine. Binding Tempest dragged her pack across in warp speed, and she like sort of, it's not really an exaggeration, but you know, she seemed a little like you know, bewildered by how fast it was that she took them across. But anyway, so she says we got across just fine. We I saw a trail of blood, but I also got a feeling that they were in an opposite direction of the blood. So I thought that was a little weird. And Kumba said that they had done this before the last time that he encountered them, that it was to throw us off, so we should follow the blood trail, so that's what I decided for us to do. But then we were greeted by pattern spiders. And I had Rocks Your Socks speak with them. And they were going to let him pass, but not the rest of us. So he asked what they wanted, and they said that they wanted access to Central Park, and we knew that that was not an option. We could not do that, and we told them that. And they said that they wanted us to then stay in our breed forms for a week. And this didn't please most of the group. I have to admit that I was a little apprehensive about pulling something off like this in my breed form. But we needed to get past. And there was a little back and forth over what was going to be done. Public Enemy said something about no tech use for a week to try and you know, circumvent the not being able to shift. And this was going on for a little while. And then I just decided to make a command decision. No shifting for a week. We could do this, and it would be fine. They then said, the spiders also said that if we didn't want to take the no shifting, then we could give up some other park ruled by the wild in the city. And of course, we knew that that wasn't an option either. It's like not our authority, not our jurisdiction to give this up. So I took the no shifting, and we went. I revised my plan. Binding Tempest was the only one that could be in a non-homid form, so she went to the forefront. Rocks Your Socks went up on top of a building near the alley, on the alleyway. He had a big gun, so he had a vantage point up there, while the rest of us went to take them on. We got to the alleyway, and they were bottlenecked in the alley, so that made it probably a little bit easier. I let everybody assume their positions. We used Kumba as bait to try and draw them out a little bit, and that worked. And I stabbed with my knife. Binding Tempest clawed with her claws and grappled the Banes so that we could get them dealt with a little easier. And then after, we made pretty quick work of them. And after we were done, we destroyed the nest. I made the decision to not use fire. There's too many buildings around, even in the Umbra. Didn't want to cause that type of problems. So we just had her do a regular rite of cleansing. It seemed to do the job. Nobody was hurt. They didn't even get a chance to attack. And Binding Tempest came back to Sept through the Umbra and didn't have any problems. The rest of us came back to Lurian's side. And here we are.
Chloe is currently leaning against the tree. And by the way, I have no problem if if Aiden sort of wandered up during this. That's totally fine.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, probably. He would have spotted everybody and poked around to see what was going on.
Full-on will
Yeah.
show throat and belly when she notices him.
Yeah, she'll sort of slowly push herself up from where she was leaning against the tree. Kind of, like I said inside chat, she looks like the expression on her face is very tight. Like she does not look happy by some of the things that you've said at all. And she'll just kind of take a deep breath before actually speaking. And she's going to be like, well, first of all, taking on any kind of Banes and Hamid is pretty brave. Maybe a little foolhardy, but it sounds like it turned out okay. I guess my first question would be, basically for the fight part, you just said that you fought. What did you do in this? What was your tactic? I know you said you used him as bait.
We used Kumba as bait, and Binding Tempest grappled the Banes, while Public Enemy and I attacked it with knives and guns. And Rocks Your Socks with his gun above.
She looks approving at this. It sounds pretty legit to her. And what do you think of the whole thing now that it's done?
I think that it went as well as it possibly could have, and that we were very lucky that it went according to plan, because it could have gone a lot worse for us. But I didn't really see, with the spiders being so aggressive, I didn't really see another way. And we didn't have time to stand there for a long, long time to discuss how to get past these spiders. And I didn't want to attack them. That would make things much worse.
Even if the spiders are basically seem to have taken control of everything but Central Park? Chloe's literally waiting for an answer.
Yeah. She says, I felt that was a problem that we could all deal with later. We just needed to get past them at that point. I needed to adjust my plans, because the plan that we had made was shot to shite with the demands of the pattern spiders. We do need to beat them back, but that wasn't the time and place.
Fair enough. Is there anything you want to add to this before I say my bit? Or is that pretty much it?
She thinks for a moment. I did my best. I led the group and made the decisions at the time that I thought was best for everyone. not just us there, but also everyone on Sept. I knew there was no way we were going to give up any control of Central Park.
Yeah, no. You wouldn't have even had the authority to give that if you'd wanted.
Nope. Yeah, she knows that. I know. And then she just kind of lowers her head. She's done.
Well, like a minute passes where Chloe doesn't really say anything. She just kind of watches Saoirse, just thinking. And then finally, after this minute or so passes, which is probably a really long time in terms of conversation, she'll finally kind of look to her once more and just say, well, I have two things to say here. The first is that I expect you all to go to the Wormfo and to tell him about the situation. Make it clear that they're demanding things of us now, things that they don't have the right to ask.
Aye, Raya.
And second of all, you led a mission. You've shown that you can do what I needed you to do, which is to be a leader. As a Fostern, you will be put in situations that you need to lead. And you seem to be able to think on your feet. And nobody got hurt. The worst thing that happened is that you had to make a deal with some very unfriendly spirits. Based on that, I would say that you just passed your Fostern challenge. Congratulations.
Saoirse smiles as wide as she can without teeth. Thank you, Raya.
Chloe's actually is just going to grin at her.
She's very the excitement on her face is just definitely visible. She's trying very hard not to like jump up and down right now.
Congratulations, Loss.
Get it.
I won't keep you here if that's something unless you just want to stay here. I'm guessing you probably want to go celebrate. You might want to celebrate, doing something else. But you have a story to tell the Wormfo first, I think.
Aye, Raya. I will go do that right now, and then I will go celebrate with my pack. And she will, with a big smile on her face, that's a little faded now as she does realize the gravity of the situation with the Weaver. So her emotions are a little mixed, but she then she grabs her 2-pack members and heads off to the Wormfo. And I believe that is where we can end our scene. Thank you, players, for playing, watchers for watching.